every single one of you in this room, you are in some way blind to your own brilliance. You have gifts and talents and skills and strengths that you have overlooked. You take them for granted. You're like, oh, that's just a thing that I do. And everybody else is like, that's an amazing thing that you do. And then you downplay it and diminish. And maybe sometimes, I don't know, we have this tendency to kind of hide. When you're someone who's behind the scenes, you're like, I don't really want to be seen. That's kind of uncomfortable. And so that's what causes us to shrink and to play small. Because maybe we're afraid, we're like, well, if I'm too out there, people are going to think I'm arrogant. If I show up as too confident, people are going to think I'm arrogant. Or, on the other end, if I shrink myself and play small, then I'm going to be invisible and no one's going to notice me. Both could be true. So the goal that we're after is something that organizational psychologist Adam Grant calls confident humility. This is our goal, confident humility. Confidence is self-assurance in what we do well. It is knowing and owning our strengths. It is not apologizing. It is not shrinking back from them. And then the humility part is having the willingness to ask for feedback and help and to be coachable and to admit when you've made a mistake or when you're wrong. And when leaders embody confidence and humility, these are the leaders that we respect and admire and look up to. This is our goal, is confident humility. So you might be thinking to yourself, well, Rachel, how do I practice this? I'm so glad you asked, because I have 2 questions that you can take back with you to your organization to practice confident humility. The first, what is it about the work that I do in HR that has the greatest value to you? This is a question to go ask your boss. Now, they're not going to say, you know what, now that I think about it, you provide no value, you're fired. I know some of you are afraid that's how that conversation might go. Or you might be like, my boss has no idea what I do, which is also sometimes the case. Here's your opportunity to show your value. And then the second question helps us activate a sense of humility. When you ask, what is one thing I could do differently to be more effective in my role? So now you're demonstrating, I'm open to learning and growing, and I would love for you to weigh in. So when you ask questions like these, you're activating confident humility. Now, we're going to practice the confident part of confident humility here in just a moment. And I'm going to invite you to partner up with one other person in this room, and you're going to share with them something about yourself that you are proud of, that you value, or that you appreciate. Something about yourself you're proud of, value, or appreciate. Now, it could be something personal. It could be something professional. Passion for others, patient, your mental math skills. I love the specificity of that. Kindness, sometimes to a fault. Can we not simultaneously compliment and insult yourself in the same sentence? You're kind, period. Okay, moving on. Doesn't it feel good to just hear these good things about other people too? Could you imagine if we spent a little more of our time having conversations like this instead of just talking about everything that's broken or wrong? Now, if you think about bringing a question like this back to your employees, you have times where people come together and they meet and they get connected and they have update meetings with their manager. Could you just imagine what would happen if we started having this kind of life-giving conversation about what's working and what's good and what people appreciate and value about themselves? It changes things. It changes things. But sometimes we can't see our own goodness, and we need other people to be mirrors to reflect back the brilliance that we are blind to.